Hey Cancer, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings. We're going to take what works, we're going to leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. And if I don't catch a wavelength, or if I do, go check your other major placements. My heater's on right now. It should be turning itself off pretty soon. We're going to start off with the this Oracle deck of Moonology and Work Your Light, and then we're going to do a more traditional spread with the Muse Tarot, although the Muse Tarot brings in more intuitive stuff too. So let's see here. And please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It helps other people find the channel, algorithms and all of that. And also the like button's nice too. I like it. I like the like. All right. For Cancer, what do we have? Oh, okay. Gemini just got trust the niggle. What's the niggling feeling trying to tell you? So there's something here. There's something that's trying to get your attention. Some sort of intuitive feeling that's here that's trying to get your attention. You may have to quiet down or change something up a little bit in order to be able to hear that. It's not coming in loud and clear. It's a little bit cloudy. It's a little bit hit and miss. It's a quiet little voice there, and you're going to have to get a little quieter so that you can see it and hear it. We have full moon in Pisces and new moon in Pisces. Wow. Cancer, another little water sign here. This is like, reminds me of two dogs sniffing each other's butts, but they're like golden retrievers and fluffy and ruffly. So we've got the two fishies here, two people. Probably a very emotional situation. Meditate and contemplate, balance spirituality and practicality. So there might be a soulmate, kindred spirit meeting here. It might feel very dreamlike, Cancer. And your feelings are very true, very on point. And you're going to have to balance out, reality and what's practical and your dreams. There's a lot of meditation. In fact, all of these are basically like you need to meditate. Meditate, think it through, and be practical. But we've got trust the niggle, meditate and contemplate, balance spirituality and practicality. There's definitely a spiritual connection here with either someone else or building a better, stronger spiritual connection with yourself. And getting in touch with that, that your higher self is typically a little quieter. Unless you've been practicing for a long time, it's going to be a little quieter than your brain and a lot of the other stuff we have going on. So it's not the loudest, except for sometimes and sometimes it can be really, really, really loud. I had an experience where my intuition was incredibly loud. It came through my body. My brain was like, I do not want to do this. I don't want to. And my body was like, oh yeah, you're going to do this. And if you don't, we're going to make you pay. So I had to trust the niggle. I had no choice. I did. I could have allowed that, but it was very clear. My body was screaming at me that I had to do this thing. But for the most part, especially, beginning my own meditation practice 20 or so years ago, was it's not very loud. You got to really quiet yourself and quiet your mind and quiet your... quiet yourself. There's really something here, but it's very buried. You've gotten like meditate over and over and over again. Thinking something through, meditating something, feeling something, vibing with something. Wow. You could just really feel something and to be intentional about getting in touch with your inner feelings. Of course, they're all inner feelings, so... All right, the Muse deck here with Cancer for your past, your present, your inner landscape, what's at issue, your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. We've got some major arcana here. Very emotional choices. And we got a couple emotions here. So in our recent past, we have Muse of emotions, which does not surprise me with this deeply emotional spiritual thing. This is going to be our King of Cups. This is being able, a lot of emotional maturity here. Someone was showing, possibly you, possibly somebody else, a lot of emotional maturity, being able to handle their emotional liquor, listening to their emotions, allowing their emotions to have a strong say in their life. This quote came up someplace else too, and it's just really on my mind, so we're gonna go with it. It's like the mind makes a great servant but a terrible master, like the brain, or thinking things through, something like that. Just really in touch with your emotions. This really is part of our guidance system, and we can use our minds to understand. And we've got meditate and contemplate and balance spirituality and practicality. So we've got meditate and contemplate. We can use our minds to understand what the emotions are doing there and how we want to respond to them. So there's somebody here, possibly you, somebody else in the recent past, has been a lot of emotional maturity, able to be very zen in this tumult and in lots of stuff going on, and in the way that they were able to communicate emotions and their feelings about something, and the way they're able to digest and understand the feelings that somebody else has. There's just been a calm within a storm, topsy-turvy all around, but being able to remain calm, remain a calm presence here. So we have also page of inspiration in your current situation. This could be an actual person. This is a student. This is someone who's just learning how to listen to their intuition, just learning how to hear sort of the, we've got trust the niggle. So we've got a student of intuition here, a student, really seems to be you, being able to listen to their intuition, hear sort of the call of the universe, hear that highly intuitive, communicating very intuitively, possibly with animals, possibly with just the spirit realm, but really listen. This is such a spiritual, emotional reading so far. It's pretty amazing, actually, especially the way I took those cards out, was dividing the deck into 3 and pulling one from each top, and then that's what I got. And to get those 2 moons in Pisces, a very emotional, spiritual sign, and trust the niggle here, there's a lot. This whole thing is orientating around feeling, meditating, thinking things through. So there's a lot for you to intuit here. You're becoming, this is the beginning sort of an intuit. You're starting to understand your intuition. You're starting to understand what it's telling you, what it needs to say. Very curious about it. Really stretching into this new way of being, this new way of moving. Almost a new pattern of being is emerging here. It has to do with your creativity, with your intuition, possibly even your sexuality. Those all sit in a similar spot in our psyches. So that's why the wands address them all at once. It can all be really interrelated. So there's this, I would say this is more about receiving communication. But again, I find it interesting here because we have, look at this. We've got these 2 fish right here. This has got really strong connection. I don't want to say soulmate, but I do. Or some sort of really strong connection, kindred spirit, maybe a connection to a dream, to a vision, to something like that. But I mean, look, we've got the king. This is basically the emotions, we've got these 2 right here mirroring each other, leaning, supporting, mutually supportive emotional environment here. We've got the fish here. We've got 2 black cats here communicating intuitively with each other. There's just a really strong intuitive and spiritual connection between you and either yourself, some higher self, or lower self, I guess, but who knows who's on what ladder, but or somebody else. It's there's just pairs. So anyway, some sort of communication, some sort of intuitive communication, and you're just learning how to listen. You're just learning, starting to understand intuition, starting to understand what this is that you're listening to and you're hearing. And there's a lot of sort of outside of the what we can hear. There's communication going on that's outside of the range of our ears here. That is, it could be psychic communication, something like that. In your inner landscape, we have 7 of materials. So I'm taking more, feeling more intuitively about this one, which is having worked really hard for something. It's a very pleasant energy. It's a good energy. There is like a lot of focus on the goal. You've already crossed some sort of threshold, and a lot of work has been put into something. Materials are going to be about work, about actual physical things. So you're thinking about the physicality of something, maybe how to bring something into manifestation. There's a very easy vibe here, easygoing vibe, but there's a lot of clarity too. So that's what you might be hoping for, is a very clear path to open up, a very clear way forward. You could be hoping to have something to focus on, maybe even hoping to have some work to focus on or something like that. Hoping that you're on the track to bring something into reality, to manifest something. But there is like a strong path here. There's a strong sense of destiny here. And having meant to do this work. And maybe you're trying to find and would like to find like what work it is you're meant to do. What are you meant to do here? What is your gift that you're bringing? What is this? What is it? You might be thinking about that a lot this week, about where this is all going and what this is all bringing into where's this all leading? Where does this go? You've already crossed some sort of threshold though, without knowing it. And that's in your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape. You've maybe done a lot of inner work, a lot of personal work here, and it's starting to bear fruit, but you're still very focused on something. Or maybe you're thinking about focus, like, can I be focused on something? Can I stay on one track? Can I be wanting to have something to focus on? What's at issue, what's going on? We have this Knight of Emotions, which is really fascinating because this is an emotional block. This is a lack of emotional communication. Someone here is not communicating their emotions. They may not be growing emotionally. There's no movement of some sort of emotion. There's some sort of blocked emotion here, a lack of movement. Which is interesting because we've got such an emotional reading so far, such an emotional and intuitive soulmate-like reading here. And then we are coming in with this Knight of Emotions where it's all blocked, it's all stopped. No one's talking about it, no one's communicating about it, or there's been like a lack of emotional growth or a lack of an emotional development here, right? Which is interesting because we start off with this emotional maturity. And then we're going into more of an intuition, learning how to intuit something. And then we're going into thinking about work, how to work on something, how to work forward, how to be being focused on something and achieving goals. And then we have this Knight of Emotions here where there's just not been... So maybe you've been on this very spiritual path and doing your inner work and your spiritual work, but you haven't been communicating about it, maybe. You haven't really talked about it. Maybe you haven't found your spiritual community yet. And then in your environment, you have Justice. You have questions coming up here about how we achieve what we're going to achieve. You could be dealing with the Justice Department or Justice Department. You could be dealing with the justice system is what I mean. Like, courts, jails, that kind of thing. But it has to do with integrity. It has to do with who you are. There's some sort of question coming in. There could be some truth coming in. There could be some balance coming in, some honesty, and some karma coming in for somebody. Like, what's the results Did you act from a place of integrity, or did you act from a place of sort of cheating, lying, and then the results are coming back? It's what the action you took is returning. So there's something here that has to do with how you do something, how you've done something, some sort of sense of equality, bringing in some balance to the universe, or something in your environment that has to do either with the justice system or with some sort of truth, balance, karma coming in here in your environment, and just questions and results of how did we go down the path. Okay, we're going to go there anyway. Which path are we going to take? Are we going to take one of more integrity, or are we going to take one of more unintegrity? Like, so that there's something in your environment that's asking those questions and bringing in possibly some fairness, some justice, balancing something out. Your to-do list here is the moon. So this is exploring your feelings, bringing to light what's your hidden emotions, your hidden feelings. And this is so beautiful because this is what trust the niggle, meditate, contemplate, balance spirituality and practicality. New moon in Pisces. This is all of this is really taking a good look at your own feelings, examining your own emotions, examining your subconscious. What's down there? Why did I make the decisions I made? Why am I doing what I'm doing? There's a lack of communication here, but you need to get very clear. And you might be revealing, this could be revealing your feelings to somebody else, revealing how you feel, what's really going on, what you've been hiding from other people, talking about that, revealing that to somebody else. I feel like there's something here with the Seven of Materials. See, she's in this void. She's working in this void here. And I feel like this moon card is exploring what's in that void that she's coming from. Where has she been doing all of this work and communicating it? The moon is about revealing what's been unseen until now. It's revealing all of that subconscious issues, dealing with your subconscious issues, dealing with your emotions and your feelings, bringing them all up to the surface to be dealt with and understood. This is such a deeply emotional reading. It's really remarkable how emotional and spiritual this reading is. And then to have the moon card in your to-do list, which is literally everything we've said before, trusting the niggle, getting in touch with your intuition. I mean, the moon card shows up right underneath this page of intuition, this page of inspiration, right? Of this, and just really, what can you discover here? What can you see? What can you reveal? And I think there might be a sense of talking about it. If not talking about it, you at least need to be really delving into how you feel, why you feel, what's going on in there. There's something in your subconscious that's basically used about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards to communicate with you, to let you know in this one reading, 7 cards to let you know out of a 10-card spread that there's something really emotional, really big going on here. And I know you're a Cancer, you're emotional anyway, but there's something in here. There's some sort of intuition, and it needs to be examined. It needs to be heard. It needs to be listened to. Maybe it's a feeling that needs to be listened to, that you've been suppressing, that you haven't been. I mean, this is all about suppression of emotion. And this is all about revealing those emotions, either to someone else or to yourself, revealing your emotions to yourself, really exploring that. You know, a lot of times our emotions come in and we're just like, go away. I don't want to deal with you. I don't know what this is. But I feel like, you know, sometimes we can invite them in and we can say, hey, sit down, dear sadness. Tell me what's on your mind today and why you're here and why you've come to visit me today. So having a conversation with your emotions, and this is just so much about, I mean, what more can we say? Meditate, trust that niggle, go inside, go explore these emotions, explore these feelings, really, really looking at them. And then we have the practicality here, bringing them forward, bringing them into reality. And then again, now we have the Lovers. We've got these 2 fishies and these 2 cats and these 2 Muse of emotions. And we've got revealing our emotions and our feelings because they're being blocked here. And now we have the lovers right here. The lovers are, you know, they are soulmates. I mean, there's this has such a soulmate vibe, but there's also a choice with, especially with soulmates, because they can often be unconventional choices that really challenge us and challenge our ideas of what we thought was supposed to happen, we thought what was going to happen, all of that. Our soulmates can often come in as pretty challenging decisions that we have to make that oftentimes don't seem to make any sense. So, but this is where you're going, towards a soulmate, towards a connection, but it's also towards a path, the path of heart, the path of what would your life look like if you just did only what you loved. But you first have to know what you love. You first have to figure out what you love. You first have to figure out so that's why this could also be a career reading, is like, what do you love? What do you, and go move towards it. Move like a smart little amoeba that we are, the smart little complex amoebas that we are, towards what feels good, towards what brings us joy, and we can move away from things that are painful, things that are difficult, or things that we don't like. We don't have to do that. I mean, sometimes we do, but basically the whole sort of movement of our lives, and I think we were talking about this with Leo too, maybe, just what kind of gas are you putting in your tank? Gas of love, where you're gonna use this gas to go towards what you love, or are you using gas of fear, where you're just like, well, that looks a little scary, so I'm gonna get fear gas, and we're gonna go away from something. What drives your movement? What's the motivation behind your movement? Are you moving towards something because you love it, or are you moving away from something because you're afraid of it? So the lovers just asks us to really consider the path of heart, of love, of living by our intuition, taking steps, step by step, moving towards closer and closer to what calls us, to what we love, to what we enjoy, and that as a lifestyle, that as the driver of our movement through life, what is powering our movement through life. And the lovers says, it's got to be love or it's nothing. You know, you don't want fear driving you. So there's such a strong soulmate vibe to this reading. It's really remarkable, but obviously not every Tom, Dick, and Harry here is going to be meeting their soulmate this week. So I think there's just also some kind of soul connection. I think it could be with yourself. It could be with a career path, or with a dream, a vision that you have. It could be just a kindred spirit. They're pretty special. It could be a kindred spirit also. So for those of you not, or maybe even just thinking about soulmate, what do you want? Oh my gosh. Let's see here. And just thinking about, you know, man, there's just so much. I don't know how I can. It's such examine your feelings, your emotions, meditate, contemplate, really getting in touch with yourself. Ribbon dancing. So this is making me think more about passion and what we're gonna do for our with our lives here. The creative power. The mind often wants to see and know exactly what is around the corner. But to manifest, we have to give up certainty and embrace the creative process. Choosing to live creatively will bring you more joy and success than any amount of certainty ever could. This is the Lover's card here. That's what that is. And in order to live like that, you have to be in touch with your intuition, and you have to be in touch with your emotions and able to shift that and move towards move towards something. You have to be flexible with that and living creatively. So this also gives me an idea that we could be talking about, you know, career ideas, or how you're going to live your life, or how you're going to live this week. So, all right, Cancer, I hope that was helpful for you. Thank you so much for subscribes and comments. Have a great week.